Okay, this is the next in our series of Midrash as the psychological backstory to the Bible. And this one is entitled Noah, From Altruism to Alcoholism. So when I talk about altruism, so we have, again, I've said this many times, there's a critical, when you have the Hebrew word, to get a theme that the Bible is trying to share with you. So as you know, that Noah was called a righteous person, right? And this title was given once to someone else in the Bible, and that is Joseph, because Joseph was feeding the whole world. Remember, he advised Pharaoh how to build up these storehouses, and then there was a famine, and people from all over the world came, and he fed them, and that's how he got the title as a righteous person. And the same is true of Noah, because the whole world was contained on this ark, and there you have it. He was feeding the whole world. So there was plenty of altruism, and in fact, the Midrash tells stories of how, how far, what great lengths Noah went to feed the animals. Each one had a different feeding schedule, and he didn't sleep, and he got sick from it. Tremendous altruism. But now let's talk about the alcoholism. So one of the things the Midrash sometimes does, it gives these kind of funny analogies. I don't mean funny in a comic sense, but they're very out there, and the symbolism usually you have to figure out, but in this case, actually, the Midrash spells it out for us. So it says that when Noah got off the ark and he started to plant his vines, his grapevines, the Satan came to him. And again, the Satan, just want to put it out there, in Judaism, the Satan is not like in other religions. This is really another name for an evil inclination. And so this evil inclination came to him and asked him, what's going on here? What do you do with this vine? What does it produce? And he said, well, it produces grapes which you make into wine, and it gladdens the heart. And the Satan said, wow, I'm really excited about this project. I want to be part of this project. In fact, I volunteer to irrigate all these vines for you. And so what did he do? He took a lamb, a lion, a pig, and an ape, and he slaughtered them and used their blood to irrigate it. Now, this sounds very mysterious, but the Midrash actually spells it out, that these are the stages of drunkenness, right? That first, you're innocent as a lamb. You think, I had a drink, nothing, no big deal, nothing's going to happen. And then you get confident like a lion. Suddenly you're feeling good about yourself. Maybe you're more articulate. And, you think, well, this is really helping me. And then eventually if it goes too far, you get into a stage of a pig where you're no longer so much in control of your body and how you look and smell and all that kind of stuff. And then finally you get to the level of an ape, or in other words, you completely lose it. You don't know anything where you are and what's going on. Now, ironically, this is exactly what happened, right? The story goes on in the story of Noah, where you have this terrible tragedy where Noah is lying naked, and the reaction of his 3 sons to this terrible event will determine all of the nations that come from these 3, their character and their fate. And in fact, the Midrash says that Noah was the first one to plant vineyards, and first one to make wine, the first one to curse. As you see, he will curse his son, and these are terrible firsts. So the Bible tells us that Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father's nakedness and told his 2 brothers. Now, the Midrash elaborates that he wasn't just seeing, because again, the Hebrew word sometimes for seeing is the same as something alluding to sexual activity. So some say he actually had relations with his father, or he castrated his father, but it was a very bad scene, and that's why he was cursed later on when he woke up. And the other 2 brothers, of course, walked backwards and covered up his father's nakedness. This effort was led by the brother Shem, and that he was the father of, Shem, like we talk about Semitic tribes or anti-Semitism, that's Shem. And so they got sort of some spiritual gifts because of this. And the other brother, Japheth, he got beauty and art and architecture, like countries like Greece and Rome. That's what he got as a gift. So they each got a reward for the way they reacted to this shame of their father. As I said, their reaction changed the fate, determined the fate of all the nations that descended from them, and really history was rewritten at that moment, all because Noah brought these vines onto the ark and thought it would be an innocent thing. And of course, it wasn't. Now, of course, let's just wrap up with the question, as I hinted to in the last session, why is it that he actually felt the need to drink? And again, perhaps I'm imposing Western ideas on this story, but he had just witnessed, you could say, like a Holocaust. He saw the whole world being destroyed. That could drive someone to drink, to seek comfort in alcohol. And the other one is because of the guilt that nobody joined him. He couldn't save anyone else except for his immediate family. But a lot of psychology going on here. And this is, again, we hope that we've brought it alive with the Medrash to show you the psychological backstory to the Bible. I look forward to your comments.